Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome everybody to this wonderful session. So thank you very much for joining. So today we have a very interesting topic with all of you. So let me begin immediately with this. Here is my question number one. So how many of you like listening to Lord Krishna? Type me in the chat. So when Lord Krishna speaks, you like listening. Type me. That's because Lord Krishna is very intelligent. He can speak very intelligently, is it not? He's full of intelligence. Am I right? And he's full of knowledge. There's nobody as knowledgeable as him. Nobody knows as much as Lord Krishna knows. And he's also called as Yogeshwara. Did you know that? Why is he called Yogeshwara? Anybody can say?
He's a supreme mystic.
Yeah. There's nobody who is better yogi than him, right? And there's nobody as knowledgeable as him, right? That's why he's the master of all the Vedas. He's the master of the Vedas, right? And therefore, it's very nice to hear from Krishna. It's very nice to hear from Krishna. All right. So let's see. So today's class is coming from Kapila Gita. Yes, of course, he is very witty. And he speaks in a very, very witty manner. So with his friends, he is very witty and joking, right? All right, so let us begin. So today we are going to hear from Kapila Shiksha. So Lord Kapila is incarnation of Lord Krishna. So is Krishna himself. So Lord Krishna's incarnation, Kapila. Not different. You see, just like two candles. So if one candle is used to light another candle, both the candles are of the same nature. Similarly, Lord Krishna, Kapila, same nature. Right? So we will all hear from Lord Kapil Dev. Okay? So please type in the chat Kapila, Kapila, Lord Kapila. Okay? So we're going to hear from Lord Kapila. So let me tell you something very interesting, a brief background about Kapila Deva and his story. Okay, we should know his story. So Lord Kapila was born to Devahuti and Kardama Muni, the parents' names, right? Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So these two are also very extraordinary personalities. Devahuti was the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. And Kardama Muni was also a very great person, very, very great person. He was so great and he was such a great mystic that he did, meditation upon Lord, and Lord appeared in front of him because of his tapasya. And not only that, by looking at him and his severe austerity, tears came out of his eyes. So some tears fell down and that became a lake called Bindu Sarovar. So that is the greatness of this Kardama Muni. So we will see Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So their son was Lord Kapila. Now the story so far is that Kardama Muni has left to the forest. I mean, he has seen that Supreme Personality of Godhead has taken birth as his own son. He took permission from him. He glorified him. He said that, please give me permission to leave to the forest. Lord Kapila said, yes, you can go, my dear father. And now, Devahuti is sitting there and she is with Kapila Muni. So Kapila Bhagavan is there. So it's like Supreme Personality of Godhead has come as his own son, as her son. So every day she is serving him, maybe cooking food, giving him food, everything. But then Kapila, he was leisurely sitting in front of her. He was just leisurely sitting. So then Devahuti remembered that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I was told by my husband that the knowledge about the absolute truth will be given by my son. So let me ask him. Okay. So now Devahuti is starting to ask questions. Now it's going to be very interesting. Okay. We're going to take this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam where I want to go deep into it. That's the reason why I took it as a session separately here, because we want to go deep into the Kapila Shiksha, especially this chapter, which is so nectarian. There are so many lessons. I would actually suggest you, if you can get a paper and a pen also, it's good, because there'll be so many points that will come out. Volume is low. Thank you for telling me that. Hare Krishna. Let me check. Fix it. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is the volume okay? No? Yes, no?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Is it little lower? Is it on the lower side? It's manageable, right?
It's good, Prabhuji.
It's good. Okay, fine. All right, then let's begin. So now he was on Bindu Sarovara, Lord Kapila. I told you Bindu Sarovara, right? Bindu Sarovara is a lake which came from the tears of Lord Vishnu. And then Kapila is sitting there. Bindu Sarovara is sitting right in front of his mother, right? His mother is sitting right there, right? And then Kapila, he was there. Now Devahuti is coming, and now she's telling her complaints or her realizations. What is it that she's asking? So now let us just wait for a moment and let's just put ourselves in that position. So what if we were in the position of Devahuti, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is right in your house, sitting in front of you, and then you have been told that you have to ask questions. You can ask questions about the absolute truth for self-realization. Okay. Of course, you cannot ask like, give me self-realization. That is not correct. You can ask some questions related to it. So how are you going to ask? So now tell me, unmute yourself and tell me. What is it that you'll ask? If the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in your house, sitting right in front of you as your son, so what is it that you're going to tell to him or ask? Anybody can say?
I would ask him, Prabhuji, what is the purpose of me coming into this world? For
Okay,
what reason I have come here?
why did I come here?
And
Nice
kindly
question.
guide me. What am I supposed to do?
Very nice question. Why did I come here? And what am I supposed to do? That's a nice question. Who else? Anybody wants to ask?
Prabhuji, I'll ask him. I don't want next birth.
Okay, you'll ask him. I don't want next birth. Okay, if you want to ask a question, what is the question that it will be?
I'll ask him to guide me to reach him.
Okay, good question. How do I reach you? Please give me guidance so that I can reach you permanently. Correct? That's a nice
Yes.
question. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. Now, let us see what happens. So, first of all, it starts with prayers. So, first, when we see the Supreme Personality of God, before asking any questions, what should we do? We should do some prayers. Am I right? We should pray to the Supreme Lord. Is it not? It's an etiquette, no? First, we have to do prayers. We should do glorification of the Lord. And then we should tell our problem and then ask questions. So, Devahuti is doing the prayers. Let us see what Devahuti is saying. Devahuti said, I am very sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses. Because of the sense disturbance, my lord, I have fallen into abyss of ignorance. Right? What is the sense disturbance that Devahuti is talking about? Let's just see that. Okay. Give me a minute. Let me share my screen. I'll share my screen.
Prabhuji, I will ask
Yes,
to the
please.
Lord to uplift me from darkness to lightness, light.
Okay. That's nice. Okay, uplift you from darkness to nice light. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Yes, that's good. Let's see this. Okay, now she's saying that I'm very much disturbed by these senses, right? So senses, how many senses, right? So we have eyes, right? And what are the others? Ears and skin, nose, nostrils, and tongue. And the sixth sense is mind. Is this fine? Now, so what's happening? So she's saying that she's very distracted by these senses, right? So let's just see what are the senses that she's getting distracted with. So eyes are getting distracted by what? Beautiful form. Am I right? Some kind of form. Some kind of beautiful form. Eyes getting distracted. Ears, any sound. Skin, sorry. So what is for skin? It's touch. Nostrils is some kind of perfume. What's for tongue? Tongue is some nice tasty food, right? And mind is getting distracted all the time, all the time. Okay, so tell me, how many of you can relate with Devahuti? Devahuti is saying, my dear Lord, because of my senses, eyes, ears, skin, nostrils, tongue, and mind, which are connected to form, sound, touch, perfume, tasty food, and distractions, I'm very much disturbed. And I finally come to a place of ignorance. I'm right now in ignorance. I'm not able to get. You see, these are called jnana indriyas, supposed to be giving knowledge, but then if not properly used, they can cause ignorance as well, right? So she's saying, I'm right now in ignorance. I'm very sick of the disturbance which is caused by my material senses. Each of the senses is pulling us one side, right? Sometimes eyes pull us to one side, sometimes the nose is pulling, sometimes ears are pulling, all directions. Now he's saying, Your Lord, your Lordship is the only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance because you are my transcendental I, which by your mercy only I have attained after many, many births. What is she saying? So, what is the possibility for us to get out of this darkest region of ignorance? We are in a dark region of ignorance. All right. So, the only possibility is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. And then it is not possible to get these teachings. Please try to understand something very important. Devahuti got Lord Kapila after many, many births. Type many births in the chat. It was not so easy. After many millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of births, after accumulating so much of good karma, Sukruti, today she is able to associate with Lord Kapila. And now the day has come when the Supreme Lord Himself is going to give instructions, direct instructions. How many of you want direct instructions from God? How many of you want direct instructions from God? Type me in the chat. The Supreme God is directly giving some instructions to Devahuti now. Directly, he is going to talk about how to become liberated. How to become liberated? So type liberation in the chat. So now, do you realize that Devahuti was no doubt very lucky? You are also lucky. The reason is you are going to hear what Devahuti has heard. The same question, you see. Not everybody is getting the same chance, right? So type lucky in the chat. You're very lucky because you're going to hear something very extraordinary. Extraordinary things. Okay. Now, let us hear something extraordinary. So now, Devahuti said, my dear Lord, please dispel my delusion, moha. And I've been engaged with the Maya and I've identified myself with the body and consequent bodily relationships. Let's just try to understand what she's saying here, okay? So here is the thing. The thing is, okay, this is our body, okay? This is our body. And so body means this is me, right? Me, right? This is me. And now, what has happened? Who is the most important person for anyone? Type. Who is the most important person in the world? For anybody?
Soul.
No, it's me. I'm the most important person for myself.
Okay.
Type me. Right? So I am very important. First, me, then everybody else. Next comes bodily relations. Now, what are these bodily relations? Bodily relations. So what are the bodily relations? They can be anything like, for example, like starting with the spouse. Okay, let's just put a spouse, the closest, right? So spouse. And then we'll say children. And then we'll say everything comes after that. Okay, children and then friends and relatives. You can say relatives. Okay, so now what's happening is my relationship with my body, I am related with myself, and because of ignorance, uh, I'm considering my bodily relationships, my body to be the supreme, and my bodily relations to be mine. Okay, so let's see what happens. So as a consequence of this, what's happening? Okay, that's what she's saying here. What is she saying here? She's saying, I have identified myself with the body. I'm not the body, but when I think of myself, I can only think about my body. That's all. I cannot think about anything other than my body. How many of you have the same experience? It's a normal experience, like anybody. When we think of myself, I can only think of my body. I cannot think about anything else. I am the body. That's it. And me and mine, my people, my spouse, my children, my grandchildren, or my relatives, my friends, only mine. I have identified first of all with my body and then consequent body relationships because of your Maya. Okay, that's my current position. Now I am taking your shelter because you are the only person who is worthy of shelter. You are like the axe that can cut the tree of material existence. Therefore, I pay my obeisances unto you, who are the greatest of all transcendentalists, and I inquire from you as to the relationship between man and woman and between spirit and matter. So, what is the question that's asking? Let's just see that. Okay. The question that she's asking here is, first of all, she's saying that if you see that there is a tree of material existence, see, this is a tree. We spoke about the tree of material existence, right? We always speak about this great tree, right? Urdhvamula Madhashakam, very big banyan tree. So it's a very large banyan tree. Okay, this is a material existence, inverted tree. But if I have to cut this, I need to have a very strong something. What's that? I need this.
Detachment.
Yeah, detachment. So here she's saying, I need this axe. This axe is you, Lord Kapila, and his knowledge. So whatever the knowledge that is giving is like an axe which can cut the tree of material existence. Existence is good, but existence in the material world is bad. Spiritual world is good. Okay. So now material existence is not very comfortable. Now let's go to this. So the question was, tell me the relationship between the man and woman and the relationship between spirit and matter. And Lord Kapila was very pleased to hear these questions. See, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always waiting that we ask this kind of questions. How many people ask this kind of questions, right? So a lot of people are asking a lot of questions, right? So we see there's a verse also. It says, Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nrunam Santi Sahasrashaha Pashyatam Atmatattvam Gruheshu Gruhamedina. That means the people, your common people, they're not asking any questions related to self-realization. They're not coming to temple and asking, oh my dear Lord, please tell me how do I get liberated? Please give me knowledge that I become liberated. If these questions will be asked, Lord is so pleased. But the kind of questions that we ask is, please tell me, when am I going to get this so and so? When am I going to get so and so? When am I going to get so and so? When am I going to get so and so, so and so? Never ending it is it not? It's a never ending story. It's like, when am I going to get this? After that, when am I going to get the next one? When am I going to get the next one? It's like that. These are the kind of questions that we are asking. Supreme Lord was very pleased. Now he's saying, we're coming to the main point. The personality of God had answered. Okay, now Lord Kapila started to answer. So everybody, attention, because Lord Kapila started to speak and he's going to answer the questions by Devahuti. The question was very simple, that please tell me how do I get rid of this material existence, out of this ignorance. Please tell me the system by which I can understand the relationship between the matter and spirit and I can get out of this material world, out of this Maya. So now Kapila Deva started saying, oh my dear pious mother, I shall explain you the ancient yoga system which I have formerly explained to great sages. And one important point about this yoga system is it is serviceable and practical in every way. Naipuna, that means Sarvanga Naipuna means this is a very, very practical path. Okay, let me just show you. This path is practical. So type practical in the chat. How many of you like practical paths? It's not any kind of a theoretical path that, okay, you do this, okay, you do some alchemy and then you'll get gold. No. Practical. Type practical in the chat. It's a practical path. So practical path and serviceable path, and it is the highest yoga system. And this yoga system, which relates to the Lord and the individual soul, is meant for the ultimate benefit of the living entity and which causes detachment from all happiness and distress in the material world. So, what is he saying? So, three things practical, and he said this is ultimate benefit. All right, and then he said detachment. Okay, let us see this detachment from two things. What are those two things? Let's see these two things. One is distress. This we understand. But then he's saying you'll get detachment from happiness as well. Both. Okay? Detachment from happiness and distress, both, because they're dualities. It's a practical system. It gives ultimate benefit And another thing that he said was, this is the topmost yoga system. Now, what our Lord Kapila is going to say is the topmost yoga system. It's a practical system which is like ultimate benefit, which is going to give us ultimate benefit and which is going to give detachment from distress and happiness. Okay, we're going to get all of these benefits. So this is a wonderful thing. Now let's hear from Lord Kapila. Now, here he's saying, so he says that the qualities of self-realization. So how many of you, first of all, want to know what does it mean to be self-realized? Type me in the chat. Because if you're asking for liberation, we're saying, okay, my dear Lord, give me liberation. But what is that stage exactly like? What's liberation? What's liberation like? Okay, so let's find out what's the liberation like. I hope you're taking notes. It's a very, very important. Lot of points here. Okay. Now, Kapila is saying, when somebody comes to this consciousness, see, right now, the living entity is attracted by the three modes of material nature, and this is called as the conditioned life, conditional life. Okay, let's see what that means. Share my screen. So, see, so right now, we are in this conditional life. What's that? What's conditional life? Let's just try to find out. Okay, conditional life. Okay, this is one. And in the conditional life, so what is the characteristics of the conditional life is we are connected with three modes of nature, attracted by three gunas. Okay, type 3 in the chat. Type 3, number 3 in the chat. Conditioned life means attraction to the three gunas. Can anybody tell me what are the three gunas?
Sattva, Rajas, Tamas.
Sattva, Rajas, mode of passion, mode of goodness. Right? It's called the mode of goodness. Let's put it in goodness. And the next one is, what's the next one? What's it's called in English? Mode of
Passion.
passion, right? Passion. Goodness means very calm and not full of knowledge. Passion means competition, right? Anger. Tamas means ignorance. Considering whatever is temporary to be permanent, completely in madness. This is our conditioned life, right? Okay. So this is our life right now. But when the same consciousness, right now our consciousness is attracted by three modes of material nature. If the same consciousness is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then it is called liberated life. Okay, so that's the simple trick. What's the difference? So this is like the conditioned life. Let us see what's liberated life. Okay, this is conditioned life. Let me show you what is liberated life now. So liberated life is attraction not to the three modes of material nature, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you are attracted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you are having liberated life. If you are attracted to the three modes of material nature, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, you are in the conditional life. So which life we are currently in? Type. If you are in liberated life, type LL. If you're in conditioned life right now, type CL. Let me see if there is anybody who's liberated here. Type in the chat. CL or LL? Conditioned life or liberated life? Okay, conditioned life, right? All of us are in conditioned life. That's right. Now let us see some symptoms. The symptoms of liberation. Okay, the symptoms of liberation. So the first symptom of liberation is when one is completely cleansed of the impurities of lust and greed produced from the false identification of the body as I and the bodily positions as mine. One's mind becomes purified. In that pure stage, he transcends the so-called stage of material happiness and distress. Okay, so now let me tell you something. So we are always in duality. Okay, what's that duality? Let me show you. The duality is this. Okay, this is the duality. Let me take this out. And okay, the duality is distress and happiness. Either we are feeling happy or sad, happy or sad, happy or sad, happy or sad. Always we are in these two dualities. Okay, so happiness and then distress. Only two things. But the point here it is said is that if you rise beyond this, if you become purified, right? The point is, if you become purified from the false ego, okay, and rise, and you're free from lust and anger, okay. How many of you, feel that you still have a little bit of anger problem? Type me in the chat. Sometimes you just lose it. You become very angry. Type me in the chat. So with the liberated life, it is like free from lust and anger. Free from lust and anger, okay? So then, and detachment from uh, the identification, and free from the false identification of body as I and bodily positions as mine. Let me explain what that is. So I told you that I have two problems, I and mine, two problems. So what comes in I is like it's me. It's like it's my body. Okay, I love my body. Okay, so like that, everybody loves their body, right? So that's what I'm saying. Mine means it can be my spouse. It can be my house. It can be my money, and all of that. All my possessions are mine. So ultimately, these two things, I and mine, right? These are the problem. These are the things that we want to get rid of. Okay, these are things which we want to get rid of. So mine, I, mine. So when you're purified from, if you go beyond this distress and happiness, right? Beyond this stage. So I just say called beyond. So something like beyond both distress and happiness. So then, if you're beyond both the distress and happiness, and if you have these qualities, that you're purified from the false ego and free from lust and anger, and you're free from I and mine, that's when you are called that you are in the liberated stage. Okay, so this is called liberation. Okay, type liberation now. Is that clear now? What is liberation? Is that clear? Anybody has any questions? What is liberation? This is called as liberation. Okay, this is called as liberation. Now, what happens to a person who is transcending this so-called happiness and distress, right? Shubha, Ashubha, Sukha, Dukkha, Labha, and Nashta. That means profit, loss, and friend, enemy, duality, right? I'm comfortable, I'm uncomfortable. I like, I dislike. Is it not? It's always duality. Heat, cold. Duality.
Success, failure.
Success, failure. Absolutely. Beyond this is liberation. It's not good, it's not bad. It's beyond good and bad. So at the time when you become realized, we can see that we are transcendental to the material existence, and we understand our position, what we are. And then we become indifferent to the material existence. And in that stage, the material influence acts less powerfully. See, right now, the material existence has a very powerful influence upon us. Somebody comes and does insults us. So if, let's say, the two scenarios. Somebody comes and says, wow, you're looking so beautiful. Okay, this or say you cook so nicely, or you look so well, or somebody says you're so intelligent. Okay, wonderful. Somebody says you're the most dishonest person I've ever seen. I hate seeing you. Okay. These are like the dualities, right? So a person who's liberated, he will not get influenced by both of them. Okay, this both of them will not have any kind of effect on them, right? So now comes the important point. This self-realization. This is called as self-realization. Okay, the people who have crossed this stage where they can tolerate insult, you praise them, insult them, they don't care. They're beyond all this. They just do their duty. That's it. They're not doing it for anything else. Now, how do we get this? Okay, type in the chat how to get self-realization. Type how in the chat in capital letters. How do you get self-realization? This is an important question. Type how. How to get self-realization. Here is the very, very important point. Now comes the nectarian instructions of Lord Kapila. It's just about to come. How? Let's see how. Now, here is the point. The perfection in self-realization cannot be attained by any kind of yogi unless he engages in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For that is the only auspicious path. So let us see that, what that is. So here it says, perfection of realization is possible only by one thing, devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the secret. Okay, let me just smaller. Yeah. How many of you got that? The perfection of realization is only possible. Let us see what all is going to say. Okay, the first point is the perfection of the realization is possible only by the devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is the only auspicious path. Okay, type auspicious in the chat. So this path is also, he's telling that it's an auspicious path. Okay, I'm just not only auspicious path, only auspicious path. Tell me, let's talk about auspiciousness for a while. How many of you see or believe in astrology? Type me in the chat. It's normal. I'm not talking anything against it. How many of you believe in astrology? That before constructing a house or maybe getting married or looking for a marriage match or doing something very important, you will consider astrology. So let us say if the astrologer says that very inauspicious time, Rahu Kala, don't do, very inauspicious for you. Rahu is there, very dangerous situation. Ketu is there. Bad planets, inauspicious planets are going on. Then will you do that good activity? Will you do that activity? Will you do that activity? In the Rahu Kala? Right? No. Or when somebody says, very nice time, Raja Yoga. Oh wow, Guru is there. Huh? Chandra is there. So many different, I don't know astrology, but they say so many configurations, right? They say, okay, wonderful time here. Your stars are so good, auspicious. So sometimes we feel that when the astrologer says auspicious time, happy. They say, no, Sade Sat, Shani is there, right? Rahu is there, Ketu is there. We feel Oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen to me now. Auspiciousness, inauspiciousness, dualities, right? When it's auspicious time, something good happens. Maybe you'll get some money, you'll get something profit. Inauspicious, stock market crashes and your stocks have fallen, right? Something bad has happened. Inauspicious, auspicious. So now we're talking about auspiciousness. The only auspicious path is devotional service to Krishna, is what Kapila is saying. That's the first teaching. What is the only auspicious path? Not astrology, not Vastu, not performing any kind of karma kanda, not doing any ritualistic activities. Nothing is auspicious. The only auspicious path is to have devotion to Lord Krishna. How many of you got that? Type GT in the chat if you got that. The only auspicious path is to have devotion to Lord Sri Krishna. Now, there is a process he's talking about. There are two things, right? Let us see. There are two things. What are the two things? One is liberation and one is attachment, right? This is liberation, and another is bondage. This is liberation, okay? And we have another one, that is bondage. Okay. Liberation and bondage, two things, right? So now, what causes liberation? What causes bondage? This is a question that you should ask. What causes? Type what in the chat. What causes liberation? What causes bondage? Type in the chat. Type in the chat. Okay. Let's see that. So it says attachment for material, it causes the bondage for the soul. But the same attachment, when applied to self-realized devotees, it opens the door of liberation. Simple formula. See, attachment we have, right? See, for example, in our childhood, how many of you had your favorite movie star? When you were maybe studying in school, your favorite movie star, your favorite singers. How many of you have your favorite singer? How many of you have favorite dancer? So attachment is always there, either towards some celebrity or a sportsman, right? Or towards our mother, towards our father, to somebody, to our friend. Attachment is there. Now, this attachment direction is going to be important. Yeah. So let us see. The thing is, if you have attachment to material or materialistic person or materialistic thing, okay, materialistic person or materialistic thing, so is going to cause liberation or bondage. Materialistic person attachment will cause liberation or bondage.
Bondage.
Bondage. Okay. So the same thing, attachment towards self-realized devotees. What is it going to cause? It's going to cause liberation. See, such a beautiful formula, no? Such a beautiful formula. Easy formula. Two choices. You've got how many choices? Only two choices. This is option number 1. Right? This is option number 1. This is option number 2. Two options. Type in the chat. Do you want one or two? Type in the chat. So attachment is the common thing between both. Which one do you want? Attachment to the self-realized devotees causes liberation, whereas attachment to the materialistic persons or matter, if not persons, matter, materialistic kind of things, causes bondage. Right? So this is the secret number one. Let us see some more secrets. Okay. Okay. Type more secrets. Type more in the chat if you want to hear more secrets from Lord Kapila. So he's just opening the doors for us. The door for liberation is opening for us now, right now. So door for liberation is opening. Just imagine, close your eyes and imagine one door opening. That's like Khulja Sim Sim. So right, so Ali Baba, then Charlie's Chor. He's telling Khulja Sim Sim and some door is opening. So like that, door of liberation is opening. The door of liberation is opening for all of us now because Lord Kapila is giving us the secrets, the formula, the principles with which we should live. Just if we know this principle, it is going to make a lot of difference. We're going to go back to Godhead. The doors are opening. The doors for liberation are opening. Okay? Right. So we saw one secret. Let's hear more secrets. So now how do you know who is a self-realized devotee? What are the symptoms of a self-realized devotee? How many of you would like to know the symptoms of a self-realized devotee? Type me in the chat. How do you understand who is a sadhu? We keep saying sadhu, 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 but then sadhu has become synonymous to a con man. Do you agree these days? When we say sadhu, we get actually a bad feeling. Am I right? We remember all those fake sadhus. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? So many sadhus in India, factory of sadhus, but known for wrong reasons. Most of the time in news, for wrong reasons. So then there must be some definition somewhere, is it not? Don't you think there must be a definition? Yes or no? Yes. There must be a definition, right? To find out who is a real sadhu. What's that definition? Okay. Let's find out the definition. How many of you want to know the definition? Here is the definition. Note down, the symptoms of the sadhu is that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. And he has no enemies, he is peaceful, and he abides by the scriptures, and his characters are sublime. Okay, let us break this down. Let me show you this. So I'll show you what are the characters of a sadhu. So the characters of a sadhu are being given here. The characters of the sadhu are that the first character of a sadhu is tolerant. Second character is merciful. Third character is friendly to all. Fourth character is no enemies. Fifth character is abides by the Shastras. And sublime character. These are the symptoms of a sadhu. Okay. Okay. Here are the symptoms. This is the first. Let's talk about all of the symptoms. Okay. One who is very tolerant. One who is very tolerant. Okay. A sadhu is tolerant. So whatever kind of difficulty a sadhu is undergoing, sadhu will be tolerant. Right? So one example which I can think of immediately is Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was whipped in 21 marketplaces. He was whipped. 21, 22 marketplaces he was whipped. But he remained very peaceful, right? Very tolerant. And somebody was very envious, had sent even one prostitute to tarnish his image that this Haridas Thakur is not a very good person. like everybody's thinking, is actually a woman hunter. So they wanted to prove like that. And Haridas Thakur was very peaceful, very calmly. He said to that woman who came, he said, okay, let us come and chant. Okay, I have to do some chanting, right? I have to do some chanting and then I'll fulfill your desire. So he was saying, I have to finish my rounds and finish. All the night is gone like that, chanting. Next day she came again. Again, he said, I have to finish my rounds and after that I'll fulfill your desire. And then he's chanting, chanting, finished. Next day gone, third day gone, fourth day gone. Then suddenly she broke down. Said, my dear, sir, I'm very sorry actually. I'm feeling very, very guilty now. Please tell me what should I do now? How do I become free from these sinful reactions? Then he said, okay, you just donate all your money to the Brahmanas and the devotees and come. Just shave your head and then just sit down and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right? So that is tolerant. Sadhu is tolerant. And sadhu is merciful. Right? So these are the qualities. Note down. The symptoms of the sadhu are: first quality is tolerance. Second quality is mercy. Sadhu is always merciful. He's always ready to show mercy. Right? And the next thing is he's friendly to all living entities. Okay, for example, what's the example of a friendly to all living entities? So you see, the current society is not friendly to all living entities. You know what that means? Friendly to all living entities means? It's a simple one. Okay, a vegetarian person is friendly to all living entities. Of course, we can get into an argument saying that, are you not killing the plants? But let's not get into that right now. Friendly to all living entities means not killing animals. That's the first level. Second level, even among the human beings also, not seeing the difference or distinction between somebody who's bad and who's good. Just like Narada Muni. Narada Muni, he could go and talk to even Hiranyakashipu. He could go and talk to Ravana. He was friendly to everybody. He could talk to Kamsa also. No enemies. Yudhishthir Maharaj is called Ajata Shatru. He has got no enemies at all. Right? Even Duryodhana is not an enemy for him. Even Duryodhana also has a lot of difficulty in keeping Yudhishthir Maharaj as enemy. He doesn't get motivation when he thinks about Yudhishthir Maharaj. He's so nice person actually. He's so good. So even Duryodhana also is not getting anger on Yudhishthir Maharaj. That is called no enemies. Abides by the Shastras. Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. We have to follow the scriptures. A self-realized devotee or a sadhu follows the Shastras, does not manufacture anything, okay, does not behave anything. Sublime characteristics, very nice characteristics. These are the symptoms of a sadhu. Okay, how many of you got that? Okay, type SS in the chat. Symptoms of sadhu. Type SS in the chat. 1 minute. Just a minute. All right. Let's see. Now, what does this sadhu do? We saw the 6 symptoms of a sadhu. Now, what does this sadhu do? What are the qualities of a sadhu? What sadhu, now these definitions must be very clear for us because there are a lot of people who are posing as sadhus and they're trying to say that this is the definition of sadhu. This is the definition of a saint. But the definition of the saint, it's not about what you think or I think. The definition must be given by God, Krishna. The definition given by Krishna is this. A sadhu engages in staunch devotional service of the Lord without deviation. And for that sake of the Lord, he renounces all the relationships such as family relationships, friendly acquaintances with the world. And he is constantly engaged in chanting and hearing about Krishna. The sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with the thoughts of my pastimes and activities. These are the qualities of the great devotees who are free from all material attachment. Okay, let us see some more. Okay, what is he saying now? Why are we talking about sadhu is, see, let us not mistake this. We are not trying to understand or think that we are sadhus. No, we are not trying to think that. We are trying to identify a sadhu so that we can associate with a sadhu, so that we get liberated. Okay, that's what we are trying to do. We are not trying to prove that from this, okay, point one, point two, I'm a sadhu. No, not that. Okay, we should not think like that. We're trying to identify who is a sadhu. That's all, right? First, let's do that. So, who is a sadhu? What are the qualities? Let us see. The qualities are the sadhu is engaging in the staunch devotional service of the Lord. So, let me show you that. What is a sadhu doing, right? A sadhu, what all he is doing, let us see. Sadhu is engaging in staunch. So the word also says staunch, right? It's not like some basic devotional service, right? No, staunch devotional service. That's the point number one. And the point number two is without deviation, he is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's renounced, he's completely renounced from all the family relationships and the friendly acquaintances of the world. Okay, the first point is he's doing devotional service of Krishna without deviation, and he is renounced. Okay, let us see that. This the definition of sadhu, right? So, so he's doing devotional service again. We want to set the record very straight to Lord Krishna again, so that there is no confusion that okay, sadhu means anybody. No, only to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Staunch devotional service to Lord Krishna without deviation. Again, that is also another quality. Without any kind of deviation. There is no deviation, right? Okay, without, I hope you are making notes, right? And then what else? And who has renounced family and okay. Now, who are these sadhus? Where are these sadhus? Where can we find them? So let us try to find out one sadhu. So Srila Prabhupada, very tolerant. He was so tolerant with his disciples. His disciples, they were hippies. Can you tolerate hippies? Anybody? Can you tolerate hippies? So I'll tell you that the disciples were so actually very uncultured, but he was so tolerant. Okay. So they were like smoking and then they were trying to do devotional service, something like that. He had to very tolerantly correct them, very tolerant. And he was very merciful to everybody. He did not see, oh, this is a white person, this is a black person, this is Indian person, Hindu person, Muslim person. No, merciful, friendly to all living entities. He has got no enemies at all. He abides by Shastras perfectly. He follows the Shastra perfectly and got sublime characteristics, Srila Prabhupada. And then he has got staunch devotional service to Lord Krishna without deviation. And he has actually left his family and he's like a completely renounced personality. He has left his family for the sake of us, right? And he preached Krishna consciousness in the entire world. So this is called sadhu. So now why did we talk about all of this? Now comes the main point. Okay, that's the main point. Let's see what's the main point. These sadhus are always engaged in constantly chanting and hearing about me. And they're filled with the thoughts of my pastimes and activities. See, now it's becoming crystal clear who is a sadhu. The next characteristic of the sadhu is constant hearing and chanting about me, about Krishna, right? Or about Vishnu, Krishna, same thing. Constant hearing and chanting, right? That is what is the characteristic, right? Constant hearing and chanting, and always filled with the thoughts of, always filled with thoughts of pastimes of Lord. Okay, filled with the thoughts of the pastimes of the Lord. Always thinking about the pastimes of the Lord. Right? So now is it becoming very clear who is a sadhu? Now, is this framework enough for you to identify who is a fake sadhu and a real sadhu? Hmm? Is this enough? Yes or no? Let's go through it once more, the entire framework. So next time when you want to find out, is this person a sadhu or not? Is this person the person whom I want to take association? Is this a person to whom I should take initiation from or something like that? You should see these qualities. Just check these qualities: tolerance, mercifulness, friendliness to all living entity, no enemy at all, strictly adhering to Shastra, and sublime characteristics. Staunch devotion service to Krishna, without devotion, renounced their family and friends also for the sake of Krishna, constantly hearing and chanting about Krishna and filled with the thoughts of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is that clear? Is that clear? Who is the sadhu? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. Now do you understand? When Lord Krishna said Paritranaya sadhunam, which sadhu does Lord Krishna talk about? Anybody can unmute and say, who is he talking about? Sadhu means Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. Who is that sadhu that Krishna is talking about? Paritranaya sadhunam.
Yudhishthir Maharaj.
Yudhishthir Maharaj, tell more examples.
I mean, in that situation, it was the Pandavas. When he was saying
Yeah,
the
that's what
Bhagavad
yeah, for the Dwapar Yuga, he's yes,
for the
Pandavas.
Bhagavad Gita
Yes.
time, it was
Okay. Yeah. For the sake of protecting Pandavas, you can take Hanuman, you can take Prahlad Maharaj, you can take Dhruva Maharaj, right? You can take all of these devotees. Simple word is devotees, pure devotees of Lord Krishna. Is that clear? Who is a sadhu? A pure devotee of Lord Krishna who is 100% dedicated to Krishna is a sadhu. Now, why are we talking about sadhu so much? Why? Ask me why. Type why in the chat. What are we supposed to be doing? Now that we understood who is a sadhu, what should we do? Here comes the main instruction. You see, he has got so much of compassion here. Lord is instructing to his mother. So motherly relationship. So obviously mother is very close, right? He's instructing to his mother. So out of great compassion, he's telling these instructions. He's saying this, "Oh my mother, oh virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men. For this counteracts the pernicious effects of material attachment. Now, you must seek the attachment of such holy man." So now that we have seen all the symptoms of the sadhus, okay, let's put all of them together. Here are all of the symptoms of sadhus here. Now, what is it that we are supposed to be doing after we understood the symptoms of sadhu? Okay. So this is the sadhu, right? Sadhu or pure devotee. So what are we supposed to do after knowing this pure devotee? We are supposed to take association. What should you do? Take association, or you should have attachment towards this kind of people, not with asadhu, abhakta, those who are the opposite. Is that clear? If that's clear, type clear in the chat. If it's crystal clear, type crystal clear in the chat. Is that crystal clear? We need to have attachment towards sadhu. We are supposed to be taking. So why are we supposed to take initiation? Why are we supposed to take initiation? Why did so many people, 10,000 people took Diksha under Srila Prabhupada? Why? Can anybody tell me what is the reason why we should be initiated? What if I'm not initiated? What happens? What is the possibility? Okay, let's say that Srila Prabhupada was there Maybe I met Srila Prabhupada. Maybe I talked to him. I spoke to him, and but I didn't take initiation. I saw him, but I spoke to him. I liked his books. I did a little bit of chanting, but I didn't take initiation. What's the problem? What happens next? Anybody can tell? Prabhupada is there, ready to give initiation, but then if we don't take, what happens next? Tell me.
You need an acharya.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? Yeah, that's a nice point. You need an acharya for guidance. You need an acharya for guidance. What else? Why else do you need an initiation? What's the purpose of that initiation? You can't be able to connect to God. That's a nice point. You won't be able to connect to God directly. Incomplete devotion. Without connecting to the Guru, you cannot be able to connect to God. Right? And another one single point, I was looking for the simple thing. It starts with C. What's that? Ends with T. Commitment. It's called committing. So it's like we commit to the Guru that, my dear sir, I accept you as my Guru. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Prabhupada says this, that it's not that we are taking a Guru for some kind of fashion. This Guru is not for a fashion. That, okay, here is my Guru. He writes a lot of books, but I don't read them. Srila Prabhupada says that funnily. Right? Srila Prabhupada says, you see, my Guru writes a lot of books. He likes writing a lot of books, but I don't read them. Or I sell these books, but I don't read them. Right? This is not a disciple. This is not a good disciple, right? First of all, you should not accept any Guru. Should very strictly see who is a sadhu, right? Who is having all these characteristics, completely renounced, fully attached to Krishna, always engaged in Krishna consciousness. And then, when you find such a person, you must attach, you must commit to a Guru. You must take the initiation. Only under the guidance of the perfect spiritual master, we will get the knowledge. That is the instruction of the Shastras. Okay, let us just see. Did Prahlad Maharaj have a Guru? Did Prahlad Maharaj have a Guru? Yes, no, maybe. Narada, absolutely right. Did Dhruva Maharaj have a Guru? Yes, no. Narada, okay, that's nice. Okay, let's just let me note this down. Let me. Okay. So I'm saying, let's talk about some great devotees. Prahlad, Guru, Narada. Narada instructed to Prahlad Maharaj when he was in the womb of his mother, right? Dhruva Maharaj, who was the Guru? Narada, right? And who else? Bani Maharaj Guru was Prahlad, okay? And let's take some more examples. Who was the Guru of Sant Tukaram? Anybody knows? Any guesses?
Gyaneshwar?
No. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiated Tukaram. Okay? Got it? And then who else? The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. All of them, right? And then who was the Guru of Lord Brahma?
Krishna?
Yeah, Krishna or Vishnu, Narayana. Who is the Guru of Narada? Narada also has a Guru? we're saying Narada as okay. Narada, who's the guru of Narada?
Is it Brahma, Prabhuji?
Yes, Brahma. And who is the guru of Vyasadev?
Krishna.
Wrong.
Narada.
Narada.
Narayana.
Narada. Narada was the guru of Vyasadev. Brahma is the guru of Narada. Krishna is the guru of Brahma. And in our line of succession, we have Madhvacharya, who is the disciple of Vyasadeva. You see how it is connecting the principle is the same. See, you must connect it to a sadhu. For taking attached, you must be attached to a sadhu. Then you will get liberated. So the sadhu for Madhvacharya is Vyasadeva. Sadhu for Vyasadeva is Narada. Sadhu for Narada is Brahma. Sadhu for Brahma is Lord Krishna. Are you getting the chain? Are you understanding what's going on here?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is that clear now? So like that, this chain continues and then it comes here. Let's see, it's interesting. It comes till here. Then this comes in the line of Madhavendra Puri. We'll talk about his pastimes, very, very nectarian pastimes, very wonderful devotee. And for the sake of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Krishna stole Kheer, Shira Chora Gopinatha. Such a great devotee he is. So there is a disciplic succession line here. And then comes Ishvara Puri. Who comes next? Who is a disciple of Ishvara Puri?
Gaur Gopal Das.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Amo.
Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the disciple of Ishvara Puri. And the 6 Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, etc. The line continues, and then we have Srila Prabhupada here. You see, Srila Prabhupada designated some people to give initiation, and he said, and they were like, one of them is like our Guru Maharaj. There are many other gurus, not that only Jayapatak Maharaj, but just to know example, I'm telling. Jayapataka Swami. Okay, Guru Maharaj or Guru Maharaj, like that, you see, and the discipline succession goes on, and then like right now I'm connected with Guru Maharaj, right? I took initiation under Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. See how the line is going on. See, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, when he was at the age of 19, he met Srila Prabhupada. He met Srila Prabhupada, sadhu. So Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is a sadhu. He's got all the qualities. Srila Prabhupada is a sadhu. He's got all the qualities. 100% attached to Krishna and always thinking about Krishna, renounced. And his guru was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So once Srila Prabhupada, how many of you know the story of Bhakti Siddhanta, how Prabhupada met his guru? Anybody knows? What happened in that discussion?
One of his friends forcibly took him.
And was Prabhupada interested in meeting?
Not at all.
Prabhupada said, I don't want to meet these fake gurus. I have seen many of them. I'm not at all interested in meeting these people. All of them are fake. I've had enough of them. I've seen so many of them. They wear one saffron and they're always doing BD and very dirty characters. That's what I'm saying. Sadhu has got a definition. People are getting cheated because they want to get cheated. But if you see the Shastra definition is very clear. There's no possibility of getting cheated. If this definition is so crystal clear, where is the chance that you can get cheated? Correct, no? Are you getting it? So Prabhupada said, I don't want to meet. He forced him. He went and he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. He was in front of him. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said to Prabhupada, your English is very nice. Why don't you go to the West and preach about the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Then Prabhupada said, who will hear your Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings? Who is going to hear all of this? First of all, India wants independence. Then very easily Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur defeated him, and he said, the real independence is spiritual life. The real independence is liberation, not political independence. That is our real independence. So we become really independent when we become liberated. Then Srila Prabhupada saw that here is a real guru. For the first time, I'm meeting a real sadhu. I must become his disciple. You see, this is the principle. How many of you it has gone deep? Type GD in the chat. If it's gone very deep, it's very crystal clear now. What is Lord Kapila saying? The process is this. Okay, you want to be liberated, that's nice. But then for liberation, there's a process recommended by Lord Krishna. And that process is scientific. It's like a Shastric process. We cannot do anything of our own and then think falsely that I became liberated. The process is this. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the process, and why not me? Srila Prabhupada took the process, why not me? All the great acharyas took the process. Ramanujacharya took the process. Madhvacharya took the process, why not me? How am I an exception? How am I an exception? Nobody is an exception. So now let us see this. In the association of such pure devotees, the discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Lord Krishna is very pleasing. And by such cultivation of knowledge, one gradually advances in the path of liberation. And then the real devotion and devotional service begins. So initiation is not the end. Initiation is, what is initiation? What is initiation?
It is the beginning.
Initiation means, initiation, English word means beginning. That means formally your bhakti life has started. That's what Prabhupada writes in the purports, that after you become initiated, your bhakti life has formally started. Now the zero starts. It's like that. Now it's like zero. Zero started now. Initiation means beginning, not the end. That's not the end. That's a beginning. Then we have to very nicely serve that devotee, sadhu, and then we get the real devotion, the Krishna prema we get. That way we have to do. Then that person who does this who takes initiation, he will be constantly thinking about the activities of Lord Krishna. And then he will be able to control his mind. Because this is the easiest yoga process. Type easiest in the chat. The easiest process of yoga and the topmost system of yoga is Krishna consciousness. Easiest. If you want to control your mind, you can try so many things, but this is the final thing that works. Okay? Thus, by not engaging in the service of the Maya and developing Krishna consciousness, one achieves Krishna in this very lifetime. In this very lifetime. Okay, now Devahuti starts to ask a question. Very nice question. What kind of devotional service we must do? You told me that we should do devotional service, but what kind of devotional service should I do? How do I immediately attain the service of your lotus feet? And he says, my dear son Kapila, I am a woman. She's saying, my dear son Kapila, after all, I am a woman. It is very difficult for me to understand absolute truth because my intelligence is not so great. I'm not a great Vedic scholar to understand this, or I'm not a Paramahamsa sannyasi that I've practiced some renunciation all my life or something like that. I'm a normal householder. That's it. And if you kindly explain it to me, even though I'm not very intelligent, I can understand it and thereby feel transcendental happiness. So please explain me in a way that I can understand. Got it? So the beauty of this Kapila Gita is that Lord Kapila is explaining in the simplest possible way for the sake of her mother, for his mother. So for his mother, he is simplifying it and explaining it in a way that She can understand. If she can understand, we should also be able to understand. Okay, of course, she's very extraordinary, but she has put herself in a very humble position. She is the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are nothing in front of her. But she has taken a humble position. The idea is that we should also be able to understand. Okay, so that is the point. That is the point. Okay, so this is the point. So the point is we have to worship Lord Krishna. And how do you worship Lord Krishna? We have to hear about Lord Krishna. We have to hear about the pastimes of Lord Krishna. We have to hear about the Krishna Katha. And where we have to do Bhajana Kriya, that's called. Bhajana Kriya we should do in the Sadhu Sangha, under the association of pure devotees. Pure devotee association. We must be surrendered to a spiritual master who is having the qualities of a sadhu. Should see for yourself. The Shastra says that the disciple should look for 1 year. That means the disciple and the guru will spend time 1 year approximately, knowing each other, trying to see each other before the initiation happens. That means even the guru is also testing whether this disciple is worthy or not, whether this person will stick to the commitment or not. And the disciple also is, checking whether the guru is 100% committed to Krishna consciousness or not. Is he a sadhu or not? Is he real or is he a hypocrite? So then the initiation happens. When the initiation happens, it's the beginning. So then the beginning of the spiritual life, then the real thing begins. That, we start hearing about Krishna Katha. Under the guidance of that spiritual master, we do devotional service. And then the liberation happens. Is that okay? Hare Krishna. Is that clear? Okay, type clear in the chat if today's class was clear. Very simple terms, right? Just show you the recap. So we saw something very interesting, right? So we saw that Devahuti said that she was getting distracted. She was getting attracted to ignorance because of her senses, which includes the mind. And she was feeling that she is in the I and mine, bodily relationship, me and mine. My only goal of life is to maintain my body and my relatives. That's all. This is my goal of life. I'm very proud about it. That is called ignorance. I want to get out of this ignorance. Then Kapila said, I'm going to tell you the topmost yoga system, which is practical, ultimately beneficial, which gives detachment from distress and happiness, both. The two types of life, conditioned life and liberated life. If you're attracted to three modes of material nature, you're in conditioned life. Liberated life means attraction to Krishna. And then liberation, how to achieve the liberation? What is liberation? To go beyond the both distress and happiness, to be purified from false ego, to be free from lust and anger, to get rid of the conception of my body and my spouse, my house, my money, all this, me, mine, everything. What's the process of realization? Devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's the only auspicious path. There are two paths: attachment to self-realized devotees or attachment to materialistic people. Attachment to materialistic people is not something very great or to be proud of. It simply causes bondage and rebirth. Whereas attachment to the self-realized devotees or the sadhus causes liberation, which is very rarely obtained. Liberation means end of all sufferings. Who is such a self-realized devotee? How do we know? What are the symptoms of such devotee? He is tolerant, merciful, friendly to all living entities, has no enemies, and abides by the Shastras and has got sublime characteristics. He is a staunch devotee to Lord Krishna without deviation, renounced even family and friends also, and completely engaging, hearing, and chanting, filled with the thoughts of the pastimes of Krishna. Such person we must take shelter of. We must actually take the shelter of such person. And that's how we become liberated. This is the process for liberation. Is that clear? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, any realizations? Please unmute yourself and tell me. I want to hear from you. What did you understand? Sureka Mataji. Hare Krishna. What did you learn today?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dhanavad Pranam.
About sadhus and sadhus' qualities
Yes.
and uh, and how to liberate in the life.
How to
That
get liberated. Yes, that's nice. How to get
yeah,
liberated?
yeah, Prabhuji. Uh, to get the liberation, we need to have some mercy, and we should not be having any enemies first of all,
Okay.
and those some qualities, Prabhuji. I
Yeah, that's
forgot.
the quality. No, that's the quality of sadhu. That's not
Yes,
the
Prabhuji.
quality of liberation. So it's the quality of sadhu. We
Uh,
should be surrendering to a person who is a sadhu. We should
yes,
find out sadhu, real sadhu, and surrender to him. That is the process of liberation. Okay?
yes, Prabhuji.
Very good. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Who wants to go next? Amrita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Tell me.
First, you need a guru.
Yes.
Then he will show you the path. To be that means then you start with the devotion.
Yes. That's
Then
correct.
you should be in good with the devotee crowds out and find a
Devotee
good sadhu
association.
and should be
Yes.
there.
You should be in the sadhu sangha, the pure
Yeah.
devotee association. That's correct. That's
Then you
nice.
develop the detachment.
Then automatically everything comes.
Yeah.
There's one shloka. I didn't explain that. Didn't get time. He says, Kapila Bhagavan says, if you simply do this devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee, liberation automatically happens. It's just like eating food. You don't have to do anything to digest your food, right? Just eat it
Okay.
and leave it. Automatic digestion.
Okay.
Similarly, just do devotional service, just see Krishna, do devotional service, chanting, deity worship, and automatic liberation. You won't even know when you got liberated.
Okay.
Got it?
Hare,
Okay. Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Matsi. Thank you. Ganga Prabhu, Hare Krishna, tell me.
So much completely explained, lot of explanation, the renouncement, constantly chanting and hearing, always thinking of pastimes of Lord Krishna, sadhu sangha, qualities of sadhu sangha. So much we explained and enlightened so much. The then what is attachment, what is detachment, all these things you explained, Prabhuji, very much impressed by this completely. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Very much impressed by today's explanation of this concern. Liberation of means what is the liberation and what are the we are thinking the process of liberation. We have what are we have to do like that. So much we explained. I think we have followed. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Renuka Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Today's
go
class
on.
was very nice. I felt we should try to get liberated to
That's
some
nice.
pure devotee.
That's very nice. That's good. That's good. Very nice. Thank you. Kalyani Mataji, you want to add something?
Prabhuji, it is very easy. I mean, it's not it's not so easy to gain all these qualities, Prabhuji, because though I try not to get disturbed by these people with who have different consciousness, and they come and disturb you and irritate you, misuse you, then how do we keep ourselves, I mean, immunize ourselves to all these kind of distractions and disturbances? That is not so easy.
Yeah, actually, I tell you,
When people misuse you.
That's right. That's right. But what I'm saying here is, Lord Kapila is not saying get these qualities. He didn't say that. Did he say that?
No, meaning you said na, like we have to be get above the material plane.
Not even that. We should not try to do anything actually. Krishna consciousness is very interesting because we don't try to do anything. We are not trying to lift ourselves or do anything. Nothing we are doing. We're just finding a sadhu. That's it.
Yeah, that I understood, Prabhuji.
That's it. We don't have to become a sadhu. Okay, means
So
become a
that
sadhu
means
means
no, but
no,
we should
no,
say
we automatically become. That's means
dualities you should
yeah,
not disturb.
yes, that's right. But it's like Prahlad Maharaj, he took instructions from Narada and he became a sadhu himself, isn't it? God, he didn't write anything artificial. He didn't try to imitate anything. He just followed what his guru said. That's it. And automatically became one. It's like, there's a professional doctor who's training you. By following the guidance, you become a doctor, right?
Yes.
Same thing. We don't try to just list these qualities and try to work on one quality. No, that's not what is said here. We are trying to find one pure devotee and serve that pure devotee. Just follow the instructions given by pure devotee. Just we become the disciple of that. And then follow whatever this. And you will never know when you become sadhu. You will become sadhu. After many years, you will be a sadhu. That is the thing. You
Yes,
won't even know
Prabhuji.
when it has happened. Automatically happen everything. Okay, that's the super secret.
Very nice.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. And in the Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank
Yes.
you very much for the very wonderful class. In this, I understood that perfection of self-realization is possible only by devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is, so the path is devotional service to Lord Krishna. And
That's very nice.
Attachment.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Naresh Prabhu, is possible for you to talk? Yes, Naresh Prabhu, Valarmati Mataji. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. My reaction is the first instruction that Prabhupada get, which is political liberation.
Sorry? Hare Krishna Prabhu.